Alejandro Gonzalez Iñárritu. Alejandro Gonzalez Iñárritu. The Revenant, a movie where you can see Leonardo DiCaprio literally crawling through the snow towards that Oscar, chasing it. Just fucking give it to him already. I mean, this guy has worked with Scorsese, with Clint Eastwood. God damn it, he'd have been in The Godfather if possible. He has put himself in a good position every single time. Just give it to him. Pity Oscar, fuck it. Anyway, this is all very off topic considering I was going to talk about The Revenant and why you should watch it and the mindset you should have whilst going into it. Now, the mindset I had whilst going into it was I was very excited. The director, Alejandro Gonzalez Iñárritu, or AIG for people, AGI, sorry, for people who are white and cannot actually pronounce his name properly, is a fantastic director. I'd heard of his previous work before Birdman, years ago, Amos Perros, which is part of a trilogy of films, Amos Perros, 21 Grams, and Babel. All fantastic movies. I watched all of those, and Beautiful with Javier Bardem leading up to this, and like the rest of you, I saw Birdman last year, so I recommend all of those earlier films, except maybe Beautiful. And yeah, I was very excited for The Revenant. This guy can direct. He is really, really good. But one thing I wanted to address in this video is a very common criticism that is leveled at The Revenant, and why it's actually quite true, but why that doesn't even matter. Now, I'm going to assume that anyone watching this video has at the very least seen the trailer for the film, and the story behind The Revenant is more or less given up in the trailer, so it's a revenge story. Someone is betrayed by a member of his team after, dire circumstances. And I should mention, the whole film is dire circumstances. You will get hypothermia watching this fucking movie. It is cold, bitter, humans pushed to the brink, etc. And Leo's character is betrayed, left for dead, and seeks revenge. I'm going to leave it up to you as to how this ends, but if you have an IQ of 80 or so, I'm willing to bet that you know how this movie is going to go beat for beat. But I'm here to tell you that that's not the point. The point of this film is not originality in story, and the director has done that in earlier films. The point of this film is the photography, and the way that through the photography, it puts you right in the setting. It puts you right in 1820 with someone struggling for their life. It's an experience movie, so rather than focusing on the story, what you should do is allow the long takes through the 1820s to wash over you, to allow yourself to be right in there with Leo, with everyone else, and experience it. Experience this movie rather than objectively talk about it, or objectively think about the story and the character development, etc. As far as I'm concerned, this film barely has any characters, which I guess isn't a very good pitch for Leo and his Oscar, but yeah. The film does a very good job at putting you right in Leo's character's shoes. It puts you in his suffering, through his hardship, when he's exhilarated, when his adrenaline is rolling, when he's really going for this revenge. You feel it. That bear fight that you've heard people talk about, where he gets attacked by a bear, it is beautifully shot, it is primal. But at the same time, somehow they manage to squeeze in a close-up on Leo's face. So as he's being mauled by this creature, it's primal, it's slobbering, it's dirty. You're getting this beautiful close-up with a moving camera. And the same thing with a fight to the death later on. It's gritty, it's dirty, but it's also beautifully shot. I mean, it's just gorgeous. So when going into this film, that's something that I would say you need to focus on. It's an experience. It's not a story, it's an experience, and it should be regarded as such. I have heard that this film is made to be an Oscar movie. AGI won an Oscar last year with Birdman, so I think that omits him from winning an Oscar this year. The Oscars are bullshit, by the way, but anyway. So, as an auteur filmmaker, filmmakers have certain themes that they have running through their films. And AGI has one thing that he has in common with Tarantino a little bit, and that's an utter contempt for every single fucking one of his characters. For some reason, he loves to see these characters suffer. And in this film, in The Revenant, any of you watching this who don't like Leonardo DiCaprio for whatever reason, I mean, maybe one of your ex-girlfriends liked him a bit too much or something, I don't know why you wouldn't like him, but if you don't like Leo DiCaprio, that alone is reason enough to watch this movie, because he puts this guy through a fucking meat grinder. Yeah, but that's all I have to say about that for now. This is my first video in a while, so I hope that I've coherently put forward my point, but yeah, you should all check out The Revenant, and more importantly, you should check out AGI's earlier films, especially Amos Peros' first film. I mean, I think there's a bit of a resistance with a lot of people to go back and watch foreign films, but this guy is of the same generation as Tarantino or Paul Thomas Anderson. He's really, really good. So, great Gen X filmmaker. Recommend The Revenant, recommend his earlier trilogy, and Birdman if you haven't seen it, and hopefully you'll be hearing from me soon.